to do an expansion of such a building. And very rarely is an architect found that does this. Bah! I was speechless. That was really fantastic.
A verbal fan letter.
Yeah. Yeah. He talked really very, very, very freely about the experiences that he had with Oscar Stonerov there. And he certainly is, we have a very good friend who owns Kahn House. And they were very different characters. I don't know how George Howe, Louis Kahn, and Oscar Stonerov lived together, in one house. And it wasn't very long, but that's the genius of Oscar Stonerov. He wrote the first book of Corbusier. He was a partner of George Howe, the architect of Philadelphia, of Louis Kahn, the architect of America. That was to discover Walter Reuther, the labor leader, the intellectual fomenter of the relationships between working and doing. That was a genius. That was just incredible there, and it really, in a way, never left me. But if you are with someone and then you say no, it's kind of like a divorce. So I did not. He was a very ambitious man, and I had said no to him at one point. But I really have wonderful memories, and I really, it wouldn't be for me to be in Philadelphia the way I am without this introduction that Oscar really gave me.
It's interesting, you really had two intellectual moments in your schooling and then here.
Yes.
And those are wonderful. Rarely does one get one.
Right. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. That was, you are very. That's certainly very true. Very intensive. Matter of fact, the second one of the second ones, I resisted for that reason, because it is very difficult to accept a notion of the world that is open to nature and relates nature to the built environment, which was the notion that I received from the original intellectual input from Schweitzer and Eiermann. And the notion of José Luis Sert is a very different one. He built himself in the meadows of Cambridge a house that was as if it was taken out of Sevilla into the northern environment, locked up walls around it, because that was his way of seeing the world. Outside, it is hostile. You have to close yourself up. Now, the concept that I built in my house and that I have seen, Schweitzer built his house, Eiermann built his houses, is to include the incredible space of nature. I don't have a living room that is limited to the size of the 27 by 15 that it is, but through the total glass wall, I have a space that is vastly bigger than anything that Julius Caesar or Alexander or Charlemagne could ever build for himself, because our material allows to penetrate into a dimension that no one else could possibly do. And of course, people like me, Neutra showed us also in incredible ways, and I tried to translate some of that into our house and into the vision of the houses that are built. You have, of course, vistas from Academy House over the city, of the old city, over the southern cities, which have to be, that you have to build a transition with a balcony or a terrace. I never built a balcony, I built a terrace so that you are somehow protected. There, Sharon was great doing that way back in the 20s in housing that they did very early, and then in Stuttgart he built what he called Romeo and Juliet, a tower and, with terrace. I don't like those balconies. I call them 8 cages, like the apartment buildings on the Franklin Boulevard. And I've never seen anybody sitting on them because you're blown away and people look at you. On the other hand, some terraces on the Parkway are wonderfully done. And this human concern is really what makes the difference between just building and architecture.
One more question for you.
Yes.
And not counting your own buildings, what is your favorite building in Philadelphia? Do you have a favorite?
Not mine, not building that I designed.
Not your own buildings, no.
No.
Other architecture.
Yeah, I am in good company with that saying that the Pennsylvania Academy of the old academy that you renovated, it is absolutely the most wonderful building in Philadelphia. That's absolutely my favorite.
How about a building built in your lifetime, but not yours?
Of Philadelphia. I would be hard pressed to select a building in Philadelphia. I could give you Frank Lloyd Wright's houses in the Hanna building in University of, well, in San Francisco, the Falling Water, Frank Lloyd Wright, the houses of Frank Lloyd Wright, I think they are, I would think, my favorite buildings here in America. They, breathe the American spirit, breathe an intelligence, a fantasy, a passion that I am more excited than an over-rationalization of some buildings that maybe we have here. So
certainly a great choice and wonderful buildings.
Those are wonderful buildings, yeah.
Well, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. That was very enjoyable.